Hello and welcome along to episode 4 of this Snooker 19 career, the other O'Sullivan with me, Daniel. Today we're facing Mark Selby, the world number 1 in the Pool Hunter Classic, and there's a very interesting reason I've come back at this point. But first, if you're wondering why it's episode 4, after last Friday I said join us for weekly content. Because it was the bank holiday weekend in England and I've had a couple of days off work, I was really enjoying playing the game and had made loads of content, so there were 2 bonus episodes on Sunday and Monday. If you haven't seen them yet, then click on the eye above. I've got a link to the full series so you can start back from the beginning again. But today we're getting into this one against Mark Selby. We're not at the start of the match as we play in the first round of the Pool Hunter Classic, but I'm going to show you what's been happening since first. If we go to the schedule, we played the European Masters qualifiers, which you saw the draw for in the last episode. We played against Sean Murphy and lost it narrowly by 1 frame, but unfortunately then in the China Open qualifiers we drew Ding Junhui and lost 3-0. So today in this one we've got a chance against Mark Selby, and if we look at the next screen now, you can see why we've come back here. It's the best of 5 frame match and it is 2 frames all at the moment, so everything to play for, and we're back for a final frame decider. We've got to show you the first win of our career, and this is a chance for us to go and get it. If we don't and it's not against the world number 1, hopefully we'll be able to get it in the next couple of tournaments. We're really starting to improve and getting a little bit of control of the cue ball, although not completely just yet. I'm finding the screwbacks a little bit easier, so I'm trying to set up those situations where possible. But as Mark Selby hits a beautiful break, we're under pressure immediately from the first ball. As we try to set up our first safety shot, I should tell you that I've just turned the commentary level in game down a tiny bit, just because it was quite hard to hear in the last episode as we were talking over each other at times a little bit. So we're just going to try and play a thin cut again. It's worked a couple of times recently. We've just got to miss that elusive middle pocket, which has caused me so many troubles before. So about 40% normally seems to work. We've gone under by 1%, but we should be up in the corner there with a perfect safety in store. We've just gone off the jaws of the pocket, which has actually covered the loose red, and that should make things a little bit more tricky for the world number 1 as he looks to get into a safety exchange here. He split the red, so he's obviously confident of getting through, but if we've got a shot at any of these, we're certainly going to be going for it. We've got 1 chance to win our final frame, and we're going to be going all out to get the first win of our career. Have we got enough on this one to get the pocket? Just not quite. He's really judged this well, as you would expect from the world number 1 to be fair, and as a result we don't actually have a pot on, so it's going to be impossible for us not to leave him one. He's done really well there and he knows what he's doing. I don't know if we can get to this red on the outside of the pack. We can't do that either, so we're in a really tricky position here and we're going to have to go for one of the loose reds at the side. So I'm just going to try and hit this first red from the loose pack, see if we can get straight down the table, and then if we can get up in behind the yellow and brown, that would be absolutely fantastic. So again we're going to bring it down a bit. We only need about 40%, although we are hitting the ball a bit more on the full, so I'm just going to add a couple of percent for that. We've still got a lot of forward spin on the ball, so hopefully that'll bring it back up to bulk, although looking at that angle I think we might collide with one of the reds, so I'm just going to make the angle a bit more narrow. So let's go and hit the ball full on, see what happens. If we can get back down the table then great, if not we want to be safe on the bottom cushion. We haven't managed any of that, so unfortunately Selby's in and he's going to have the first chance to win this deciding frame, and I'm sure he'll go and pot the first red here. He's done just that, so let's see if he gets on a colour. Then if he does we'll leave the rest of his break and come back when we get another chance at the table. The only other bit of news is that we unlocked a few cues, so we've now got the red flame instead of the classic, and now Mark Selby's on the black. He's going to pot it surely and he's going to build a long break from here. There's plenty of loose reds to go on, so I just hope he doesn't win the frame in one visit. So we're back at the table with a real opportunity here. Mark Selby just puts 18 on the board before missing a pink to the top pocket. He'd run out of position slightly and it's cost him there. We're going to try and build a break, although this one's not going to be easy to find a colour with. I would say that these episodes are probably going to be slightly shorter, just because we played nearly 2 full frames in the bank holiday weekend one, and unfortunately with work commitments at certain times during the week, it's not always going to be possible to do that. I really am enjoying the game though, so you might get some bonus content at some points. There's a couple of more bank holidays in May, so who's to say we won't have any there. I don't quite know how I'm going to get on a colour from this one, just because we haven't really got a screw back option, as Mark Selby's left us so tight to the cushion, so we might go for one of the lower reds and see if we can create an angle. So I'm just seeing if this red passes the 2 at the bottom. It most certainly does, so we're going to go for that one. If we can screw back even just a tiny bit, it may allow us to get back onto another colour. I don't think think we've got that option, so we're going to try and roll it forward then and just see if we can get past the black and back up the other side. If not, then it will be a break of 1 and we'll just have to go and play a safety shot. Just 24% power, so I wouldn't expect too much, although we've overhit it quite a bit there, and I don't know if we can see enough of the black to get it in the corner, but if so, that will be a fantastic shot. We've got the dreaded cone, so it's going to be difficult for a novice like me, but I think we might be able to pot this one and start to build a break. In theory, this should be the hardest shot of the break, and once we get this one in, we should be alright, but we'll wait and see if we can do it first before we make any bold statements. Our record break, despite 2 more games off camera, is still 65 from that Judd Trump game, and unfortunately we have missed the black, so our record break here is just 1 still. Mark Selby's at the table again. He's got the red and an easy black to pot now, so we'll be back at the table when we get another chance, if we're lucky to get 3 in the same frame. Okay, we're back at the table again. Mark Selby's 54 ahead, but there's 67 left on the table, so we are going to have a slight chance at getting back into this. One thing I should say that I didn't mention earlier, this is the first episode I've recorded since the patch, so you may have noticed at the start of the frame that Mark Selby was playing proper safety shots, or realistic ones I should say, rather than just rolling up as they were in episode 1. So we're going to try and get this one back to bulk again. We can't reach the red on the other side of the table, which would have been ideal because we need to get the reds into play, as we're going to need all of them with high value colours if we're to get back into this match. So we're going to try with a little bit of forward top spin. Hopefully it will get us back up the table, just the tiniest bit of left hand side to get round the yellow, and hopefully that'll be enough to see us down the table and right back up again to bulk. So let's try and get in behind. 36% should be plenty. We've only hit it with 35, so I'm not quite sure if that'll be enough, but it looks like we're going to be perfectly at the bottom cushion and in behind the yellow to the right hand side. So it shouldn't be an easy pot for Selby from here, but we've seen the long pot, so the one thing that's slightly unrealistic in this game, they go for nearly everything and they really tend to pot most of them as well. The same has happened there. Obviously Mark Selby, quite a defensive tactical player, likes to grind out victories in real life and probably wouldn't have attempted a pot like that, but the safety play's not quite as good there, so he's managing to go for the pot instead. I think that's one of the things that will probably get patched in this game, is not the efficiency of the long shots from the big players, but more the decision they make to go for them all the time rather than playing a safety shot when it's more appropriate. So we're back at the table. Selby leads by 61 and there's only 59 remaining, so we're going to need a snooker, but while we're on the reds and blacks we'll play them first just to make sure we can get some points on the board. And it'd be nice for you to see us actually pot a red and a colour at some point during this episode. So we potted the red and we're on for the black. It's a little bit of a tight angle again, but we brought the red into a nice position too, so we should be able to pot these two and then we'll play for a safety. It's not quite as big of a cone for this one, so I think we might be able to pot it alright, and we're just going to try and roll it into the pocket and get on the side cushion. 21% should be perfect, and the black's going to roll into the corner pocket. We've got one onto the middle, and I hope that cuts because we've absolutely ruined the other two, and unfortunately it looks like it's going to be break over if we don't manage to put this one in. It's our final chance to get on a colour, and I don't think we can get on a high enough value one either, so we might have to change our attentions here. We're just going to play this at 11%. If we get on the blue it won't change the amount of snookers needed, but you're not going to believe it, I haven't hit it hard enough, nor have I hit it straight enough. It wouldn't have got in anyway. That is an absolutely ridiculous shot and shows that my judgment isn't quite there yet, despite me saying it had slightly improved. Selby pots the red, so that's going to be the end of the frame, and Mark Selby will go through to round 2 of the Pool Hunter Classic, which was thoroughly deserved based on that last frame. But if we look at the total match points, we actually got 190 points out of that match, which is a really good achievement. The highest break was 50 and I don't think it was by us, but to take Mark Selby, the world #1 to a decider, is something a lot of people would be proud of. So I'm hoping we'll see the draw for the next tournament, and I just want a slightly weaker opponent, just so we can really have a chance at winning our first match of our career. And obviously once we get to a winning position in one of those frames, I'll obviously come back and show that on camera next time. So there we go, that makes me feel a lot better actually. Mark Selby was the champion of the Pool Hunter Classic, so we lost in a deciding frame to the eventual champion, and he'll certainly remain world #1 as a result. We've moved up 1 place in the rankings despite not getting any points or prizes, but it was us with the break of 50 as well, it confirms there, so that means we are improving slightly. We're starting to get half-century breaks in every match. So let's move on to the next one. It's the 6 Red World Championship, obviously a slightly shorter format and something I'm really interested in showing you, so I probably will show something from this event, but let's see who we've got first time around. Look at that, we've got Ronnie O'Sullivan in the first group stage match. It is a group format, so I think we have 2 or 3 games, and most importantly importantly in this one, you earn prize money even if you lose in the event, so that's going to be absolutely crucial for us as we look to make our way up the rankings. I've just got to hope that the others on Zero aren't playing as well, otherwise that won't make any difference as we'll all remain on the same amount. But with the objective of this series to beat the other O'Sullivan, to replicate his successes and win a world title, reach world number 1, I'd be silly not to show you this one, so I am going to show you a bit of the match. It's best of 5 frames, so whether we get into a winning or a losing position, we'll come back with the final frame of that match for the next episode. Obviously with it being a 6 Red World Championship, it will be a slightly different type of event as well, so it'll be nice to show you that on camera, to show you a slightly different side of the Snooker World calendar. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that performance. Obviously you didn't see much of me at the table as I was absolutely useless, and we made 1 or 2 really crucial positioning mistakes, and the eventual champion knocked us out by taking advantage of them in the decider. However, I am pretty proud that we took the champion of the Pool Hunter Classic to a decider in the first round, and hopefully that'll bode well for the next few matches. It's Sean O'Sullivan v Ronnie O'Sullivan. Both of them will be featuring in the episode, as we'll come back for the final frame of that match, just so you can see the benchmark for where we've got to get to. But subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content and weekly content from this Snooker 19 career. As I've said before, if you want to share any experiences you've had with the game down in the comments, then do let me know and I'm happy to have a discussion with them, and let me know how you're enjoying the World Snooker Championships in real life. Obviously we are about a week in now as we get to the first Friday of the tournament. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with this series. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for the big game against Ronnie O'Sullivan.